Let's connect those on Facebook. Let's connect them. So just one moment. Let me do that. One moment. I think we can now continue. We can now continue with what we're doing. All right, I was on a USD CHF before that. For that breaking transmission. I said on the daily time frame, this market is not actually, it's moving upward. It's moving upward on the daily time frame. Moving upward, but it had element of some element of pullback or some element of strong rejection at the moment. So this area will, before we consider a buy or a sell, we should have some decisions in some things, some factors that we will put into consideration before we take either our sell or our buy. As you have some element to put into consideration before considering a buy or a sell at this point. Now, outside of that also, now, okay, yes, we'll have to consider either a breaking down lower, have to consider a breaking down lower or a breaking up higher, a breaking down lower or a breaking up higher. Breaking down lower or a breaking up higher before we will consider a buy or a sell. Why for the other one? Why for, okay, yes, that's for the USD CHF. We'll consider a breaking down lower or a breaking up higher. That's for that on the daily time frame. Then let's look at the 4-hour time frame for people that works with the 4-hour time frame. Let's look at what on the 4-hour is almost the same thing with that which is on the daily. It's almost the same thing with that which is on the daily. Almost the same thing. Almost the same thing. There's no much difference out there between the 1 hour and the daily time frame. There's no much difference. So let's go to 1 hour. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's refresh this chart again. Reload. Okay, this is on the 1 hour now. Sorry, it's not 1 hour. This did. Okay, now on the daily time frame, we have this. On the 1 hour time frame, we have this. On the 1 hour time frame, we are even seeing the market as if it's moving on it's moving something related to like sideways movements. It's moving relating to sideways movement. Moving relating to sideways movement. It's moving relating to a sideways movement. It's moving relating to a sideways movement. It's moving relating to a sideways movement on the 1 hour time frame. It's moving relating to a sideways movement. Let me check some things over there. Okay, so we have a strong confirmation between the weekly, the monthly, daily, and if the 4 hour and even the 1 hour. So let's look at another pair. Let's not waste too much time on this particular pair. Let's look at GBP, JPY. That is the pound yen. Pound yen. Let's look at what it's doing. Let's look at what the pound yen is doing at the moment. Let's look at what the pound yen is doing at the moment. Let's look at what the pound yen is doing at the moment. Let's look at what the pound yen is doing at the moment. Okay, we have the pound yen was in a smooth uptrend for 2 consecutive days. For 2 consecutive days till on later part of Thursday and the entire Friday, when it started behaving like a flat top over there. When it started behaving like a flat top over there. Started behaving like a flat top over there. Which means that it's a sign of momentum gathering. Looks like a sign of momentum gathering, or looking like a sign of momentum gathering. Looking like a sign of momentum gathering, or a sign of a trend reversal. Like a trend momentum gathering, or a trend reversal over there. Even as a trend momentum or gathering of this thing, trend reversal, momentum gathering. Now let's zoom to the daily time frame and see what's there. Let's look at the daily time frame and see what the daily time frame has. Okay, the daily time frame has this. Daily time frame has this. Now, looking at this, we have this area. Let's bring that out too. We have this area on the daily time frame. Have this area on the daily time frame as a level of strong support to this market. And let's zoom out a little. Then we have this area where we have a green line as area of okay, let me adjust it to this level. It's an area of another area of resistance to this market. So what we can see here now is that this market is currently meeting some mini barrier before getting to this level. It's meeting some small barrier before coming to this level. But however, if this barrier is strong enough, considering the length of this bullish candle, and the fact that it just left a strong support area, this market has every tendency of getting to this level where this green line is before any possible movement it can do, before it pushes down to this pushes back, either moving back, or a breaking of this level where we have a green line to meet this black line at the top and upward, or whichever direction the market would face again. Now, because if we judging by judging by this area from here to this area, let me just use a rectangle to capture this area I'm talking about now. Judging by this area like this is what I mean. This market has every tendency of getting to this level, because judging between here and here now, you can see that this market is ranging on the daily time frame. And when the market is ranging like that, it has every tendency of breaking through the range after it has ranged for a very long period of time, or after it has stayed in a particular area for a very long period of time. Now, looking at this, we have uh, we have this movement left support coming to this area at the top of the range. So I have a little pullback here. So let's see what happens on Monday, which is next week. Let's just look at the 1 hour and see. Okay, the 1 hour is what we just looked at just now. So if that's the case, let's look at the weekly time frame to know what is happening on the weekly time frame. Okay, on the weekly time frame, we have a market that is on market that was previously in a downtrend and is now reversing to become an uptrend. In fact, it has reversed to become an uptrend, but its momentum is not yet strong enough, because we are seeing something looking like one higher high, and a higher low, and another higher low again. This is not even a higher low, this looks like a lower low again. So we can consider this. Let's zoom out. Let's not just draw a conclusion like that. Let's zoom out. Now this is what I'm talking about. This ought to be an area of pullback. After leaving this area, of pullback after this upward movement, then it came down, it did a pullback here to be the higher low, and it went up here. We failed to trade above this level, which now makes this area a lower high. Then this came down all this level, came down to this level. Then it did this movement up, which is now a lower high, then a lower low. Then this level again, it did a higher high, higher low. Then it went up, it came down to this region. So that's why I'm saying that this market is currently ranging. Even on the weekly time frame, you can see that the range is still valid. So we'll just be if we are not a range trader, we are traders who do not trade range, we should be waiting that this market either break upward or break downward before we continue whichever direction that we are following. We'll wait for the market to break in either direction and retest before we take any of the movement that we intend to take. So that is on the weekly time frame. Then on the daily time frame, we will also look at the same thing. On the daily time frame, the market is even more precise. The range is even more obvious on the daily time frame, while on the 1 hour, let me zoom in. Sorry, out rather. Okay, on the 1 hour is on a strong uptrend with some level of strong pullback. Over here, meeting some midway barrier, which is this, and this. Let me just add a line at that point. So you can see the barrier that is meeting currently. So it has a tendency of coming all the way to this level. Now it has broken this barrier, but not enough momentum yet. Not enough momentum yet. It's like it's still falling back to hit the barrier again. Because if we're saying it has broken, it has equally retested. If what we're saying that it has broken, it has equally retested. Because if we say this area is an area where it broke, then we can say it retested here or it retested here. And the movement is not too strong enough yet. We should be expecting a strong bullish candle at this forming at this area, strong bullish candle forming at this area before we continue our movement to meet this area if we were to trade it for an uptrend for smaller time frame traders. Then let's just those on 15 minutes, let's look at what can be done on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, on the 15 minutes time frame, on the 15 minutes time frame, we have the market range. Okay, let us say, okay, we can either say this is a range on the 15 minutes time frame, or we will say that this market is trading sideways on the 15 minutes time frame. Either it's ranging or it's trading sideways on the 15 minutes time frame. That's what we can possibly see on the 15 minutes time frame. So if we are smart traders, we'll look at taking a smart movement at the breaking of this choppy movement or sideways movement. We'll consider taking advantage of it after it has escalated or breaking above towards one direction, breaking and retesting of that direction, and we take advantage. So that's for that on GBP JPY. Then let's look at another chart. Okay, let's look at some stocks. We've done some on currency. Let's look at the futures or indices. Let's look at what we have over there. Let's see what we can do over there as well. Okay, this is a chart of US 100, popularly NASDAQ or US 100 and ES 100, depending on whichever. But the official name is NASDAQ. The official name is all right. Let's continue. This is a chart of NAS 100, popularly known as NASDAQ, US 100, whatsoever. So let's go over to the daily time frame. Now, if you have been a trader for quite some time, let's look at what this market holds. Let's look at the monthly time frame at first. Let's look at the monthly time frame and see what's happening over there. reload charts. The monthly US 100, US 100. Okay, let's zoom out a little. This Nasdaq on the monthly time frame. Now, on the monthly time frame, Nasdaq is in a full-blown uptrend. It's in a full-blown uptrend. High low from the period of 2017 till date. This market is in a full uptrend. So if we're trading this market, we're looking for opportunities. It should be buying opportunities. If we are looking for selling opportunities, it should be very minor and a very risky one at that also. If we are looking for selling opportunity in a market as this. Okay, let's look at the weekly time frame now. The weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, is still in a very much good uptrend as well. But let's look at something very spectacular that I'm seeing over here. I know some smart people have already seen that, or some smart traders rather. Now you can see the gravestone, the dragonfly doji over here. The dragonfly doji, after this 2 consecutive week bearish candle, you can see the dragonfly doji over here. Now, what does a doji mean? A doji means it's a trend continuation of, it's a trend reversal candlestick pattern rather. It's a trend reversal candlestick pattern. It's reversing from a downtrend to an uptrend. Now let's still zoom out a little. Now, knowing fully well that the doji is a trend reversal candlestick pattern, what are we going to do at this moment? It means that we should be looking for a strong or a good buying opportunity in this market. Now look at this flat area around here. You can see this flat top here. Now we can say, or we can agree, that this market is currently respecting that level. This market is currently respecting that level. This market is currently respecting this level where we have this black line now. Consider this market is currently respecting this level. So the moment this market traded and it hit that level with the black line, this market did the reversal in the opposite direction. So this level where we have a flat line, you can see that previously there was a strong battle at that point and it formed a flat top before it broke up. Now the market traded down again to meet that level and it reversed, which means that that level is a stronger support area. So from next week now, what we should be looking at considering on the Nasdaq or US 100 should be a good buying opportunity. Should be a good buying opportunity over there on the Nasdaq. Then aside that, let's look at the 4 hour. Let's look at the 4 hour, what's happening on 4 hour. Okay, you can see that on the 4 hour. Let me refresh the chart. You can see what your Nigerian network can see what it's doing. Just delaying our broadcast, delaying our analysis. We pay, but what we pay for, they don't give it to us. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. This is on the 1 hour. It's on the 1 hour chart. This is on the 1 hour chart. Let's go back to the daily. Let me show you something. Let's go back to the daily. Let me show you something and come back to the 1 hour and show you another thing again. Now look at this black line. Now let's take it up to hear that dragonfly doge is grace. Yes, dragonfly rather. So let's go to the 1 hour. Can see what what I was talking about on the daily, on the weekly and the daily. This black area now it's broke it, retested, but since majority of the future markets are depending or they rely on the US economy for their movement, this market reversed and followed the upward direction. Now this area was not strong, so the market could not actually reverse at that point. It came down all the way to this level before it reversed. That's why I think if we were to zoom it back to the daily time frame, now you see that all of this between this area and this area will be capped in one will be capped within the same region. So it obeyed that area and it reversed did this movement, did an arc, a reverse U, or an inverse U, which is an N shape, a small N shape, did this, then up, this again up for a trend, a big trend continuation pattern. So today, tomorrow being yes, tomorrow when market opens, we should be looking for a good buying opportunity on this market. However, let's be careful of this region. Yes, let's be careful of this region. Let's look for a breaking of this region upward before we enter for our buy. But if this market, maybe the market decides to come back to either this level or do a little pullback, we should also be careful as well before we will take our sell opportunity. We should be very conscious before we take our sell opportunity. We should be very careful before we take our sell opportunity on this chart. So that's if I can see anything there. Okay, what is on the 1 hour is the same thing, almost the same thing as what is on the 15 minutes. So on the 15 minutes, those on the 15 minutes, what is even there looks like a selling opportunity to them, because we have a flat area or a flat bed or a flat top over there, which they can actually consider, before taking their sell. Okay, so that's for US 100 or NAS 100, US 100 or NAS 100. Then let's go back to, let's look at another market. Let's look at US 30 or DAX 30. Let's look at DAX 30. What's happening? Not responding. Okay, let's look at another pair, another market rather. This US 30 just okay. Let's just look at GBP US. Let's look at BTC USD. That's the cryptos. For those who trade cryptos, let's just see what we can do for them. Let's start from the monthly time frame. Okay, this is the monthly time frame of Bitcoin. Okay, on the monthly time frame of Bitcoin, we have Bitcoin in a bearish move. Have Bitcoin in a bearish move. Have a long rejection at the top and small rejection at the bottom, which indicates that the bears are in a strong war against on the monthly time frame of Bitcoin. Now you recall that China just did the release and whatsoever cryptocurrency is effect on this market, to have a direct effect on this market. So since it will have a direct effect on this market, means that this market we still have the tendency of falling more, because it's that statement is a strong fundamental. It's a strong fundamental which which drives every market. Fundamentals drive every market, no matter how strong the market is. Fundamental we always drive it. Then let's go to the weekly. On the weekly, we have the market on in a bearish trend. Since it's in a bearish trend, we'll look at what we can do on the bearish trend. Now, selling opportunity is more on the weekly time frame than a buying opportunity. Now, this news that I just talked about now, since it's a stronger fundamental driver of this market, means that majority of investors will go ahead into panic selling of whatever of their Bitcoin that they have, and it will have an adverse effect on this market. So let's look at the daily. If there is a contradiction on the daily about this, okay, we have on the daily is still in a downtrend. Rather, let's add some two to read. Now, now that we have this, we are looking at how we will be able, since we have this, this market is in a downtrend, and we have something that looks like a retesting or a confirmation or a pullback. This is first pullback, then this is the second pullback, which means that this market is not experiencing any barrier towards moving downward. It's consistently following what is the market structure. Rather, it's consistently following the structure. We have 0.1 and 0.2. So these markets have more tendency of pushing downward. Now, this movement now being foiled by the news of a ban by the Chinese government means that this market will still move lower. Now, but look at this dragonfly doji over here. This candlestick, the last candlestick over here, which was the market movement or the market activity that happened on Friday. Sorry, not Friday. That's today. This market movement is what's currently happening today, and this was the one for yesterday, which was Friday. So with this movement, this a dragonfly doji over here, which indicates a market reversal in the opposite direction. So with this now, we will not just jump into buying, neither will we jump into selling. We have to wait for some other confirmation first before we will consider a buying using this candle. But on the overall, the market is in a downtrend. So if we are to buy, we'll look for this, we'll wait for this market breaking this trend line, breaking it and retesting this level before we buy. While for a sell, we'll look at this current movement that is coming up. Look at this current movement that is coming up. We will wait that this movement is unable That's for long-term traders now, because we're on the daily time frame. So we wait that this movement is unable to break this our trend line before we what? Before we consider a selling position. Now, and if we sell on this market, we will be considering level as this as our target, because this is where we are looking at our selling. Consider this level as our target, or the level of 32 or 30 probably as our next target. So that's for the Bitcoin on the daily time frame. Now let's hover to the 1 hour and see what is there on the 1 hour. Sorry, 4 hours rather, 4 hour chart. Okay, on the 4 hour, we can see that the chart is still firm. The downtrend is still firm. However, some level of reversal is happening, considering this area,
Well, you put it well.
little area over here. So if we go to 1 hour now, we see a mini uptrend that's happening over there. Now, this uptrend that's happening over here, if we are following, let's assume that we are following this uptrend. What we'll be looking at should be this purple, the upper, let me change this coloration. Now, if we are following this, if we intend following this mini uptrend here with the red line, our target or our area of focus for a target or exit, positive exit, will be this purple line, because it is an area where we have the previous major uptrend or the major downtrend that is happening on this market. So we'll consider this point for our exit, positive exit rather, positive exit, which is our profit area. This will be our consideration. While for our negative exit will be this area. It will be this area that the market left, or maybe a little bit around this area. But this uptrend, in my own opinion, I would not enter, because the momentum is it's not encouraging. It's weak. The momentum here is weak, so I kind of I for one, I won't consider taking this movement. I won't consider taking it serious. You can even see over here, over this area, that it's looking as if it's moving sideways already. So I would not consider taking this market. I won't take it serious. I will just watch it and see what happens when it gets to this area. That is, if it will get to this area, see what happens before I will take either a buy or a continuation of the sell, which is the downtrend, to move downwards. Yes, my tool. Let me do some drawing. So like what I was saying, I said that I will consider looking at this market getting to this level. In my own opinion, I'll consider waiting for this market to get to this level. If it breaks upward, retest, then before I continue, before I will take a buy. Why? If it moves to this level and it refused to break there, being that it's a downtrend, I will wait for something like this, then I'll take my sell position. And this area of 30, this area of 40 rather, will be my target. So that's for that on Bitcoin. This 1 hour. I think that's the least I can go. Okay, let's see what's on 15 minutes. Let's see what's on 15 minutes for traders who work with lower time frame. Okay, this is 15 minutes. 15 minutes still the same thing. 15 minutes still the same thing. So there's I think in my opinion there's no point. Was on 1 hour is still what I'm still seeing on 15 minutes. So I wouldn't you know say anything more about that. So this on the daily we're looking at the daily. I said we'll consider let me remove this element. Consider waiting for the market to touch this area, or if we're buying, it has to be a very risky buy. To be a very risky buy, but in my own opinion, it will be wise to wait for this market to get to this level, down. Then let's look at another pair. Okay, let's look at this
JPY or
USD
USD.
now. Which of the USD do you want us to look at?
USD JPY.
USD I'm not sure that market is on my watch list, but let me add it. USD. It has been added.
Okay.
Okay, we have this USD JPY already.
Okay.
On the monthly time frame, you can see that this market in is in
Range.
an uptrend
Okay.
from a previous downtrend. It has changed to an uptrend, but with some element of overall range. Now, why am I saying range is this? If we plot our rectangle tool out, we'll see something like this. Something like this. So, which means that this market is not actually moving above this particular level, either upward or downward. It's not moving above it. Although this kind of market is actually a mini market that is ranging, actually a smooth market for smart traders. It's a smooth market for smarter. It's a good market for smart traders. So let's zoom out and see what's there on the weekly time frame. Okay, on the weekly time frame, we also have the market still ranging as well from 2017 to 2021 that we still have the market ranging. So now that it's like that, what do we do? What do we do now? Having said that, ranging market is a smooth market for for smart traders. This market is getting to the upper part
How about?
or
Okay.
the resistant part of the range. Now, jumping in for a sell or for a buy at this point is not too it's not too it's not too advisable. So what we'll look at, we zoom out again, we look at that area. What is it that can be best done at that area? Okay, and we'll go back to our weekly chart and see what's there. Okay, we still have one area not touched yet.
I don't think we should have used the horizontal line tools.
You said what?
Don't you think we should have used
You
horizontal
said
line
what?
too? The horizontal line tools. So just put a straight line from this joint and cut across.
Using horizontal line tool, we only capture only the up. It will not be able to capture the bottom. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, because this horizontal line here, where is it? This horizontal line here. Then if we're taking another one from the bottom, it will be this. Clone. Then we have here left out. Let's use that horizontal line. We still have here still ranging, so it will be one range inside of another range.
Yeah.
So which means that this market is having the tendency. Now, okay, let's leave the bigger range. Now let's come to the smaller range.
Like focus on
Now, coming to the smaller range, we'll see that this market has met this higher area once. Let me remove this let me move this my eclipse a little. This market has hit this level 1, 2, and let's just say, yeah, this is the third, but not fully. It has not actually completely met this point, but it has it as 1, 2. But taking a look at the lower part, it has met that point 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and possibly 7. And each time it met at the lower point, it has a stronger rejection from the buyers against the sellers. Each time it meets the lower area or the lower point or the lower level. Now, which is an indication that the buyers are in a stronger momentum, or they are in a stronger position to raise this market from any of these lower points above any obstacle that is possibly holding it, because it has met by the sellers uh, from this point only pushed it down. It met here, it went up, met, it went up, it met, it went up.
yeah.
What is there is that we have sorry,
Potential.
sorry, 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 sorry. I'm mistaking something. We have the sellers having more pressure against the buyers. But considering these last two candles, considering this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 candles are special candles, which are candle are their patterns in the market, which indicates either a trend reversal, a trend continuation. We have a tweezer there. We have sorry, not a tweezer, a spinning top. We have a spinning top or a spinning bottom. We have a hammer. We have a doji, and we have a good bullish candle. So what we're doing now is let's take a look at this whole range again and
Yeah.
consider a buy opportunity from the close either above the range or a close below the range. Now, if we're taking a close above the range, it must be that it will close below above this level, to close above this level. Then we'll also wait for a retest so that we don't just jump into this market and maybe as a way of the smart boys will come out and cap us out, just trick us in, cap our money, and they kick us away by taking it in the reverse direction. So we wait for a good retest, must close above this area bullish with a strong bullish candle, bullish and reverse before we take a buy. Why? If by paraventure it comes down, we will also wait for the same thing. Since it's constantly pushing downwards, we will look for the same thing, trading below this area, doing a retest before we will take our or consider our selling position. So that's for it on the weekly time frame. Then let's look at the daily time frame. Let's see what is there. Okay, we'll see on the daily time frame the range is even more obvious. The range is even more obvious on the daily time frame. The range is more obvious on the daily time frame. And if we buy, okay, let's assume we buy from the daily time frame. Let's assume by Monday we took a buy from this daily time frame now, considering the body of the 1, 2, 3 candles that are here, being that they left the base of the range towards the roof of the range. Now, if we have to take a buy here tomorrow when market opens, it will be that our target should be this black area where we have the ending or the roof of the range first. We take that area as a closing point, or an first exit from that market. Now we take that we take that area as an exit, then we wait for what happens first before we either continue buying or take the reverse direction, which is to sell this market. That's for on the daily time frame. That's what we would take a consideration to look at, or I for one would take a consideration into looking at. While looking at the 1 hour, we can say that that area is an area of pullback, and it's also close to the termination of the range, or the ending of the range. So taking a trade from there, taking a buy from there is let's draw the price. Let's draw the price to and see the distance between there and the close of the range. Just have 25 pips. It's something that is small, except the person happens, the traders that we're looking at there, they will be high risk scalpers. If not, taking a buy from there is something that is not of in my opinion. I wouldn't encourage it. So let's leave that. So let's wait for this market hitting this level and see what happens before we take our buy or our sell. You have any question?
No question. Like, why do we skip the other time frames? We skip from the daily to the 1 hour. Why didn't we check out the 4 hours and 2 hours if there's something?
Okay, the reason why I skip from daily, reason why I skip from daily to 4 hour, from daily to 1 hour is that the 4 hour is in a strong relationship with the daily time frame. Whatever thing you see on daily time frame, believe me, you are going to see, if not 90%, if not 100% of it, we see 90 to 95, 90 or let's say at least between 80 to 90%, you see it on the 4-hour chart. For instance, this is the 4 hour now. Let's take a look at the daily. Let's go back to the daily. Let me zoom out. This is the daily now. This is the range that we are working with. This is the range that we are working with. Then let's look at the 4 hour. Can you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Okay.
So the same thing now is still there. It's still there. So that's all for USD JPY. Let me move to another pair or another market. Okay, let's just look at GBP NZD. That's pound New Zealand. pound New Zealand. Okay, this is a chart of Pan New Zealand. This is Pan New Zealand. Let me make it bold. Okay, on the monthly we have on the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we have something that is looking like a dragonfly doji. Having something looking like the dragonfly doji. Let me zoom. Okay, it's looking like dragonfly doji, but fortunately it's not, because it has a body is there. The last candle is what I'm referring to. And this market also have something uh looking like a mini range, but we have an uptrend over here, or a small uptrend over here. Okay, we have a better chart now. Okay, this daily, let's look at weekly. Or monthly rather. Okay, in my opinion, on the monthly we have a on the monthly we have an uptrend. Here's my tool. Using this, we have an uptrend. Have an uptrend with some level of pullback. This pullback looks like as if it's too deep. Let's go over to the weekly. In my opinion, this pullback seems too deep. Seems too deep. Okay, have higher high, higher low. This higher high is not a good one. Then we have a higher low, which is not as strong, or which I'm referring that is too deep compared to the previous higher low. So what is here? We will not just jump. Okay, if we are to consider buy, it would be because if we are to consider a buying here, it would be because of this last candle that didn't trade below this trend line area. But but we can't be buying seeing a bearish candle. Can't be buying seeing a bearish candle. We'll have to wait for a bullish candle to form. Bullish candle that will have a little or zero rejection by sellers. Sorry, by by sellers against the buyers. That means buyers must have to be very weak in this market before we'll consider uh, a buying opportunity. But at the moment, this seems like a mini downtrend, a small downtrend on the weekly time frame. This looks like a small downtrend, because taking a hover back, we'll draw this line over here. If we take it up, this area looks like a mini resistance area on this market. So we can say that since this area looks like a mini resistance, and between here, if we are to take another line here, it will make this area to look like another range, and this will be a breaking. These two candles over here will be a breaking of this range, and this will be a retesting of this range. So taking a buy trade here would not be too good. So in my opinion, this looks like a trend reversal. That's this whole uptrend over here changing to a downtrend. So we should consider taking a sell opportunity on this time frame when a bearish candle trades below this region. That means this will be the pullback, and the completion of the pullback, another bearish candle emerges and starts trading below this area. Then we'll consider taking a sell opportunity, which should be a trend reversal of this whole movement over here. So that's my own opinion, or that's my trading opinion as regard this movement over here. So let me look at the daily time frame. If something different or something something opposes that my opinion, okay, that my opinion still remains, is still valid on the daily time frame, that this area looks is a resistance area at this trade, and this was a range, and this is a breaking of this range. It broke this range down, and it's going back to do a retest, and the retest seems not yet completed yet. Not yet completed. So since it's not yet completed, we'll look at since it's not yet completed, we'll not jump into sell first. We'll not jump into sell first, because looking at this point, this looks like another area that this market, if it's coming down, it when it gets to that level, it must do some kind of slowdown before it will either move downward or move upward. So this area, let me take it to, we have this area, have this area here, have this area here. Since this area is here, we'll be able to Okay, we have this area here touching this market, touch this area. This cannot be a pullback. Sorry, this cannot be a rejection. Why is that? It cannot be a rejection. You can see a rejection from up, down, up, down. Then it went up to this area, down. So this area now looks like a mini choppy, or a mini what's the best name I'll use for it? A mini range, or a mini consolidation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since the time frame is I think the time frame is a higher time frame, we will not just call it a consolidation. We'll refer to it as another range as well. We'll refer to it as another range because we have I think if I'm not mistaken, we'll have over 100 pips in that space there. We have over 100 pips. Let's draw. Okay, we have 201 pips in that within that space, or within that price distance or price movement area. We have over 200 pips. So that would be another range. So it will be that if we are trend if we are a range trader, we have to consider following this zigzag movement, which is a mini range, or yes, a mini range. But for he that trades on the 1 hour, he will see that movement as a full-blown uptrend. We see that as a full-blown uptrend. The same thing for he that trades the 15 minutes, he will also see that as a full-blown uptrend. So he will take a good advantage of that. But meanwhile, whoever he that trades on the daily, he will be seeing that as a range, meaning that seeing it as a range means that he will be scalping it. But he that trades on the 15 minutes and the 1 hour will see it as a good uptrend to follow up, and gets to the resistance, he or she follows it downward also. Okay, you can see this is the 1 hour now. It's 1 hour. So you can see that the range is even obvious on the 1 hour already. Range is obvious on the 1 hour already, with this area being the high of the range. Oh, oh my network was wrong. Oh my, Control C. Please, I'm reverting some changes on my system.
Mm.
Okay. My chat is behaving fine. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I've gotten it. Okay, that's for that. Okay, that's for that. This is where we'll come to the end of the the class, Forex life analysis. question. Thank you and God bless you. Have a lovely and a wonderful night. Thank you. God bless you. I remain your only host, DEFISIL Moses. Thank you and God bless you. I will talk to you soon.